a man with leprosy came to him and begged him on his knees, "If you are willing, you can make me clean." Jesus was indignant. He reached out his hand and touched the man. "I am willing," he said, "be clean." That word indignant right there also means filled with compassion. Immediately, the leprosy left him and he was cleansed. Jesus sent him away at once with a strong warning. "See that you don't tell this to anyone, but go, show yourself to the priest and offer the sacrifice that Moses commanded for your cleansing as a testimony to them." Okay, so we have a leper. What is a leper? What is leprosy? Here, in this context, and in the Bible, when you see leprosy, it's a skin disease of some kind. All the skin disease were kind of like rolled under leprosy. When you have leprosy, back then in the Jewish times, you had to isolate and quarantine yourself for 7 days. We all know what that feels like to have to quarantine for some time. It's terrible. You're lonely. Anytime somebody came by him, he had to cover his mouth and shout, "Unclean, unclean," so that way they would go away from him. And this man was falling apart. He's sick. He's unclean. He's lonely. He hasn't had any interaction for some time. Who knows how long he's been a leper? He's desperate at this point. And he heard from somebody that there's a man with real authority here in town. And he runs out of his desperation, falls on his knees and begs, "Please, can you heal me?" That leper is you and me. That's us. Because without Jesus, we are unclean. We are not worthy. And he runs to him, falls to his knees, and Jesus is filled with compassion at him. The leper had no right being there at all. Jesus could have easily kicked him away. They could have stoned him. Out of his desperation, he comes running to Jesus, and Jesus heals him, just like he did for us. He touched the leper. You're not supposed to touch these people. They're sick. You have to shout unclean. But he comes down and he reaches out and he touches them. He put on skin 2,000 years ago so he can have a meeting with this leper and he can touch him and say, "I have compassion for you. You are healed." He did that for us. He put on skin 2,000 years ago so that way he can touch you and that way you could be healed.